to the Token and Hobbs show on the Roads to Liberty Network.
Welcome, everybody. This is another exciting episode of the Token and Hobbs show here on the Roads to Liberty Network, coming to you live on a Tuesday night. Woo! It's been a long week, a lot of fun stuff going on. How you doing? How do you had some fun going on at work for you?
Oh, yeah, I got to jump in here with It's Tuesday.
I should just let you do the opening since you do that every single time anyway.
I know.
No matter what I say.
Yeah, I gotta come up with something different because I think that's gonna be my show, my Friday show. So I gotta come up with something.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
No, you should do that. Oh God, what's that song? Friday. Listen to Hobbs on Friday. That should be your opening, dude. Seriously, just annoy the shit out of everybody watching right off the bat.
Yeah.
And only the people who stay are the people who deserve to listen.
Right. That's how you know that they care.
Yeah, they stick around when you play the most annoying song in the history of mankind.
Right.
When they do that, then yeah, shit, that's how they do it. Yeah, it's been a long week. The Huskers lost again.
They did.
I'm still pretty bummed out about that. Yeah, I know you don't watch football, but it's been like 4 in a row now. Team Minnesota. Yep, 4 in a row now. My beloved Cornhuskers suck again. It doesn't look like anything's going to be changing anytime soon. So I'm just wallowing in depression, going to drink my sorrows away. That's how we do it. But at least I haven't killed myself. I'm just like just like somebody that we all know who is probably living out in an exotic island somewhere, surrounded by rich and powerful people, doing God knows what.
2 children.
And 2 children, and we're talking, of course, about our old friend Jeff Epstein, which I think we should just name this show the Jeff Epstein Show, because every time we come back, there's always something in the news about good old Jeff Epstein. This is the man who won't die. The meme that sticks around forever and ever. Not that it deserves to die. This is definitely a meme that should stay. People need to know what's going on. And the fact that people are so skeptical about the Epstein suicide, quote unquote, is a great thing to me.
Right.
It's awesome. I'm glad that people are so skeptical about the official story in the Jeff Epstein case. So what are we talking about now? What specifically has changed in the 2 weeks since we've done one of these shows? Well, I'm going to read you a snippet from a Fox News article. It goes, FBI investigators probing the death of Jeff Epstein are looking into whether a criminal enterprise may have played a role. The Bureau of Prisons director revealed Tuesday during testimony in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I can't talk today.
Get it out.
Kathleen Hawk Sawyer, who described the death as a, quote, black eye in the entire Bureau of Prisons, unquote, made the admission when questioned by Senator Lindsey Graham. Imagine that, Lindsey Graham actually doing something useful for a change.
I know. A black eye on the corrections department. No, a black eye in the corrections department is if, just like a petty thief hangs himself in prison. You got Jeffrey Epstein, who is quite possibly the most important prisoner on the planet, with dirt on high-ranking officials in probably just about every country of any importance on the planet. Manages to hang himself, and you're going to say it's a black eye? No, this is a point-blank buckshot load to the face on the corrections department. That's what that was.
Yeah, black eye doesn't really begin to cover how monumentally failure allowing Jeff Epstein to die on their watch was. I mean, yeah, this was the most high-profile prisoner in the country. This is a dude who had dirt on God knows how many rich and powerful individuals. Dirt on who knew about the perverted habits of people around this country who are in positions of power. Jeff Epstein could have spilled the beans on a lot of people, and his death represents one of the greatest failures of our prison systems of all time.
Yep.
A black eye doesn't even begin to cover it. But we go on. With the case this high profile, there's got to be either a major malfunction of the system or criminal enterprise at foot to allow this to happen. So are you looking at both? Is the FBI looking at both? The South Carolina Republican action. The FBI is involved and they are looking at criminal enterprise. Yes, Sawyer responded. And this is what Ted Cruz had to say. That was a moment that shocked this country. There were powerful men who wanted Jeff Epstein's silence. As I see it, there are two and only two possibilities for what happened. Number one, there was a gross negligence and a total failure of BOP to do its job with a prisoner on suicide watch that led to Epstein committing suicide. Or two, something far worse happened, that it was not suicide but rather a homicide carried out by a person or persons who wanted Epstein's silence. Either one of those is completely unacceptable. Both of those are profound indictments on BOP and our federal incarceration system.
Right. I would just like to correct Senator Cruz there when he says that this was an incident that shocked the nation. No, this didn't shock anybody. We were memeing about this the day that they said that Jeff Epstein had been taken into custody. It's like, oh, looks like he's going to suicide himself tomorrow. And then when it happened, the only surprise was people like, oh, holy shit, wow, they actually killed him. And they're like, oh, it was a suicide. It was like, you people, it's like they're just poking.
See, I don't remember who it was, but somebody made the comment. Maybe it was Chunk Unger, the host of the Young Turks. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. I can never get it right.
It's Chunk Yogurt.
Chunky Yogurt?
Yes, Chunk Yogurt.
Chunky Yogurt is more digestible than that man's talking points. But anyway, yes, it might have been Chunky Yogurt. It might have been someone else. I think it was Chunky Yogurt. But someone made the comment on Twitter that isn't it a sign of incredible arrogance that everybody knows Jeff Epstein's going to suicide himself, and yet they suicided him anyway, knowing that everybody would know it wasn't real. Yeah. I mean, crazy. It is a sign of immense arrogance that they would go through with that anyway and be like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you know it's faked. It doesn't matter. We're not going to get caught, so fuck you.
Right, exactly. That was the only thing about this entire thing that surprised any of us that are paying attention is, wow, they're really that arrogant. You know, there was always that little shred of doubt, but it's like I said, they're poking. They're poking now. It's like, can we get away with this? Can we get away with this?
The thing that surprised me was like the almost universal understanding that this wasn't a suicide.
It's like everybody.
Everybody. Like nobody bought it. Like,
I honestly think that the only person at all of any type of influence that thinks that this is a suicide and actually like tried to downplay it was Trevor Noah when he had Hillary on his show. He like tried to make a joke of it, like, how did you kill Epstein? Oh, you're so powerful, you're so in charge, you can kill this guy, but you can't even cheat your way into the presidency. And it's just like, come on, dude, don't gaslight us, you fuck.
Like killing a dude is vastly harder than cheating your way into the presidency. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, no. Kill Epstein would be much easier than cheating your way into being president of the United States.
Right.
I mean, come on. Let's not kid ourselves here. But yeah, that was
like trying.
That was a pretty amazing thing that Ted Cruz said there, acknowledging that there is a very strong possibility, near certainty, I would say, that Jeff Epstein wasn't murdered. That Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself and wasn't murdered. But yeah, that is Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, wasn't it
just to acknowledge.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, just to acknowledge the real for a politician of his stature, just to acknowledge the strong possibility that this was a homicide is great.
Yeah.
All right. You like it's not even a conspiracy theory. It's not in conspiracy theory status right now, right? It's legitimate alternate theory
Right.
in the mind of like the vast majority of people. You know,
Right.
like you talk about the 9/11 conspiracy theory, the JFK conspiracy theory. That stuff is in the realm of the public mind of conspiracy theory. The Jeff Epstein stuff is not. It's mainstream. It's like
Right.
this is the real shit. Nobody thinks he actually hung himself, which is
Right.
great. It's fucking great because the only
Yeah.
other possibility is the government is fucking evil. That's the conclusion you have to. That's the conclusion you have to come to.
Yeah.
You know? And
Absolutely.
we want people to understand the fundamental truth that the government is evil.
Right.
All right.
The-
It
the
is
very-
made up of terrible people who abuse their power for personal gain and have no problem killing in the name of political benefit. I mean, we see it all the time in the U.S. foreign policy. We kill thousands and thousands and thousands of people with no qualms about it because it advances our own political goals, right?
Right.
We've been saying that forever. Libertarians have. Like, this government does evil shit all the time. Don't trust them. People are like,
Right.
oh, you're just silly libertarians. What do? You think the government's just out to get you. And here we have a case of everybody accepting the libertarian
Bedrock premise.
Yeah, the premise that we're starting off in, that the government will murder a man to prevent him from spilling the beans on rich and powerful pedophiles.
Right.
They're accepting that premise, and we're sitting here going, yes, now just take that a step further. All right, just keep going with that. You're on the right path. See, at this point, I don't even care if he actually committed suicide or not. It's important for people to accept the premise that the government is made up of evil shitbags.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, even the people who built the government that we have right now, the founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, what did he call it? He said it's a terrible servant and a fearful master. Government is like fire.
Yeah.
Jefferson said it's a necessary evil in our times. Even the people that built the government said, we don't like it, but, we did just win a Revolutionary War, and if we're not united, they'll just come back and put us right back where we started at. So it's a necessary evil. So the thing that I don't understand is that here we are 200 and almost 50 years removed from that Revolutionary War time frame, and people are the fucking people who built it said it was evil. Why can't you start with that premise?
Libertarians will fight day and night about the necessary part. But, yeah, it is evil and does evil shit. Now, is it necessary? Maybe. I don't know. We've never had a situation where it didn't exist, so I can't tell you whether it's necessary or not. Maybe all the anarchists are right. Maybe. I don't know. Because we haven't had a practical example of anarchy on a large scale in action. But maybe they're wrong. Maybe you institute anarchy and everyone fucking dies the next day. Oh no. Nobody knows. But what we do know is that the government does a lot of evil shit. And one of the evil things that they did was murder Jeff Epstein before he could. The rich and powerful donors that keep them in office.
Right. Unlike communism, real voluntarist anarchy has never been tried.
Yeah. Oh, you just pissed off the comment. You're going to make them all sad.
Oh.
No
new fascism!
Oh my God. Have you made one about fascism? Not recently, no. Are you making fun of Antifa? I know a lot of guys in Antifa, and we get along swell.
You're right.
Yeah, you look like the kind of guy that gets along with Antifa. The real specimen of manliness you are. Looks like someone would try to punch you and disappear into your fat gut.
Yep.
You're just a black hole that is. Well, what are we talking about? That was like 2-3 weeks ago. Why'd you have to remind me of that? Are you going to put me on a tangent where I'm just angrily ranting about the people on Facebook who piss me off?
Because it's not just one person. It's an entire archetype of communist sympathizers and apologists.
What's that guy? Just Jason Weinman, I think. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know that there was a guy that did some stupid shit.
He kept telling me that communism isn't evil because they had the best of intentions. That's what it was. Like, oh, they had the best of intentions. Well, at some point in time, you have to look at the track record of an ideology. Yeah, thank you. You got to look at the track record of an ideology and realize that's what it is. All right? The track record of communism is what communism is, not its intentions, its results. And if you still support it after seeing the results, you're evil. Point blank, simple, that's it. All right? Well, you support an ideology that objectively killed about 100 million people on this planet, has murdered countless millions. All right? You support that knowing the facts. All right? Sorry, I'm not going to sit here and say you have the best of intentions. No, you're using rhetoric that sounds good to get the results you want. All right? You're just using communism. Oh, we just want an equal society. That's just the rhetoric you use. What you're going to do is murder thousands of people if you get the chance. So if you're a communist sympathizer out here, this is not the show for you because fuck you.
Right.
Seriously, I got no more patience for people who take that stance than with people who make apologies for the Nazis. We've had a few of those on our page too, and I have to smack them down. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm still more apt to believe that the Nazi and fascist sympathizers are just like pubescent teenagers trying to be edgy.
No, that's what it is for the most part. It really is. They're like, oh man, I'm a 12-year-old white guy. I'm so much better than these minorities. Ma, hot pockets. Ma, I'm telling the minorities how much better I am. I'm a prime specimen of humanity. He sits back and his gut goes out to here. He can't even see his dick.
Speaking of people that can't even see their dick, you think we got anything new about Prince Andrew?
Oh, that's coming up. We still have a little bit more about the Epstein stuff, man. We got to pick up the pace because we got a lot of subjects to get to tonight. You keep distracting me. All right, it's
just so easy.
It really is. This is really my fault. I can't blame you for that. Okay, moving on. We have a little bit news about the guards who were supposed to be watching Jeff Epstein as well. This is also from Fox News. Quote, 2 prison guards who were on duty during the night Jeffrey Epstein killed himself have been taken into custody Tuesday on federal charges linked to their alleged failure to check on his well-being. The guards, identified as Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, have been charged with making false records and conspiring to make false records and to defraud the United States by impairing the lawful functions of the Metropolitan Correctional Center in the New York facility where Epstein was found dead. As alleged, the defendants have a duty to ensure the safety and security of federal inmates in their care at the MCC, U.S. Attorney Geoffrey S. Berman said in a statement. Instead, they repeatedly failed to conduct mandatory checks on inmates and lied on official forms to hide their dereliction. The guards are accused of signing false documents saying they were conducting mandatory checks, when in fact they were just kind of hanging around their desk, fooling around, and apparently doing some online shopping. Both guards are charged with multiple counts of making false documents, which carry a maximum term of 5 years each.
Doing some online shopping. Do you think they're spending that bribe money already before it even hits the account?
Like, man, I've been eyeing this yacht. Now I gotta put a deposit on it soon.
Yeah, soon. Before
buying a timeshare in the Bahamas.
Right. Yeah, I have a feeling that these people are going to spend the minimum amount of time being club fed, and meanwhile there's going to be a very large sum of money deposited into an offshore bank account with no extradition treaty, no paper trail, probably all, like physical money in hand by some shady character wearing black gloves to some bank teller in the Cayman Islands or something.
Now, honestly, It doesn't sound far-fetched to me at all that these two were just legitimately lazy and didn't do any of their job. Like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's like security guards just being lazy, not doing their job, not doing their checks, and someone managed to get in while they were freaking fooling off on the internet.
Can you imagine? Like, let me just paint a picture of peak meta irony here. Two security guards at MCC sitting around the desk on the internet, fucking off on Facebook, laughing at Jeff Epstein is going to suicide himself in jail memes while Jeff Epstein is suiciding himself in MCC.
Oh, these two assholes could have stopped it all. They could have caught Hillary Clinton red-handed, but they didn't. They didn't. They were too busy looking at Jeff Epstein's gonna murder himself memes.
Yep.
Oh my god. I wonder what their favorite Jeff Epstein memes are. Do you think they go browsing Jeff Epstein memes now and then just to see them?
I don't think that those two, like, their names are known right now, and with the popularity and the explosion of this Epstein didn't kill himself shit, I have a feeling that every single person on their friends list and their friends' list are tagging them in Epstein didn't kill himself memes hundreds of times every single day.
Dude, I wish I was friends with one of these people. I do that. I just send them Epstein memes all day. It's like, hey, man, Epstein didn't kill himself. Wow. Where were you, man? What were you buying? You could have stopped it, dude. All these memes are your fault.
Yep.
I mean, how many fucking children are going to be victimized because you didn't stop it?
Right.
You bastards. Oh, man. You got to imagine what it's like for those two right now, though.
This really is the best timeline.
No, the best timeline would be if they caught whoever killed Jeff Epstein red-handed, and he was able to testify against, I don't know, every member of government. Literally all of them. Everybody in government just gets arrested.
And not just our government, every government.
Every government.
Like the fucking
arrested. Who's gonna arrest them? Members of government? No, it's gonna be so bad that the Boogaloo has to pop off just to wipe out all these pedophiles in government.
Pedo lynching when?
Now. Not unless we gotta find a volcano. There's not enough volcanoes in the US to throw pedos into. We gotta find some. I know they got some out on the West Coast, but there's none in Nebraska. So we gotta find a suitable method of dispatching. Isn't there a supervolcano underneath Yellowstone?
Yes, there is. There's no magma flows, but there are enough boiling hot sulfuric natural springs that I think that an even slower and more painful death in one of those will
throw them into a geyser.
Yes.
Yes. Like just stuff them down. I've never been to one, so I don't know how big they are. Can you just like stuff a human being down into one and then just have the geyser like blow them out the top?
I'm sure some of them do
that,
but there are some that just it looks like a pond.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a regular ass pond, and you'll see like it'll look like it's just kind of got some fog on top of it. But the pond is like 140 degrees, and if you would stick your foot into it, it would just burn all the meat right off of your foot.
Ooh.
So yeah, so
that sounds suitable.
Yeah.
I'm just having a picture in my head of all these politicians and billionaires just lined up, and Epstein's at the front of the line, and they're leading them in one by one. He's like, yep, toss him in. Yep, him too. Toss him in. Oh yeah, definitely that guy. Toss him in. And at the very end of the line, they just kick Epstein in, and we're done with it.
Blood for the blood god.
Blood for the blood god. That's it. Or you can like I'm picturing like a medieval witch testing device where they were like put them in a chair and dunk them underwater and bring them back up. Is it that? Yep. That's also suitable in boiling hot water. You do that.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, they're pedos. They deserve it. So You know what? I don't really care. If I can't throw them into a volcano, a geyser is the next best thing.
Dunk them in genitals first.
Ew. Fun. You gotta think of all kinds of fun ways to dispatch pedophiles. All right. Speaking of pedophiles, there was a interview with a one Prince Andrew that went down. Oh my goodness. It was the most horrible thing. It was absolutely ridiculous. Prince Andrew having an interview with the BBC, just embarrassing himself. It was pretty bad. I'm gonna see if I can pull up. Yeah, here's a nice. Oh geez, I'm gonna pull up a video for us because it's a thing it's a thing of beauty. Let's see. Boom, boom. I love how I can just like bring up video and stuff on here. All right, so here's the video. I'm going to play some for our lovely audience.
Alice, all is calm. But this morning, the UK remained shaken by one of the biggest royal scandals in years. One headline reading, "The Rise and Fall of a Party Prince."
I never have really partied.
In his widely criticized interview with the BBC, Prince Andrew...
It's amazing, isn't it?
I never have really partied.
I'm British royalty, but I would have you believe that I'm a fine, upstanding citizen. I've never drank, never used the marijuana, and I've definitely never had sexual relations with that woman. Definitely not.
I don't know in what parts of America they consider snorting cocaine off the supple buttocks of an underage girl as partying, but here in the British royal family, that's just a Tuesday.
Yes, indeed.
Andrew denied allegations he had sex with Virginia Roberts Giuffre, seen here in a photo with him.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
Prince Andrew...
Oh, yes, that's very believable. I have no recollection of meeting this woman that I am very clearly seen in this picture with. It's never happened before. It must have been all the cocaine I was snorting. I forgot what happened. I mean, I just don't remember. That's cute.
Linked to Jeffrey Epstein and Giuffre's defamation lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's one-time girlfriend. Giuffre claiming Epstein directed her to have sex with the prince on 3 separate occasions in 2001 when she was 17, including the night the photo was allegedly taken. She told Savannah about their first encounter in an exclusive interview.
What happened? The first time in London, I was so young. Ghislaine woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince.
The prince, suggesting the photo with her, was doctored.
Oh, this is good.
I am not one to, as it were, hug, and public displays of affection are not something that I do.
Britain's Daily Mail.
Right, that's because it's not a public display of affection. You took that picture, you probably knew it was a picture being taken, obviously he was staring directly at the camera, but he was probably under the assumption that that picture would never see the light of day. That picture is part of Jeff Epstein's massive blackmail file. That picture was not supposed to be known. That display of affection was not meant to be public. You fucking weasel.
Mail suggesting otherwise.
Now, I love this because immediately after he says that, they're showing a series of photos of him doing public displays of affection with various women. Like, it's not something I do. Oh, wait, here's all these photos of me doing just that. Like, dude, seriously, who coached this guy? You gotta imagine that they coached him before he went on TV. This is the royal fucking family. They not have people who tell them how to conduct interviews.
Right.
Like, that photo must be fake because I don't do public displays of affection. Trust me.
Right, and the fact that this wasn't just a baby soft softball interview by the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation of a British royal, blows my mind.
Yeah, well, then apparently there's been a lot of the trust in the royal family has gone down significantly over the years. And it's been, the royal family is not this scandal-free paragons of virtue that they like to portray themselves as. These people are fucking hard drinkers. They use drugs. They get into controversies all the time. The poor queen, she's probably the cleanest among them, and she's just dealing with all her kids and grandchildren fucking up everywhere. And she's like, all you fucking kids, I'm going to just beat your heads, but I'm too old to do it. I'm going to leave the country to my corgis. They're more deserving than you guys are.
That would be awesome.
King Corgi?
King Corgi, yes.
King Corgi, the Corgi, king of the British Isles. That would make a dog the head of state of how many countries?
England,
I don't even
Scotland,
know. Like
Northern Ireland.
Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all these Commonwealth countries technically have the Queen of England as their head of state.
Right.
Believe it or not. Justin Trudeau is not the head of state of Canada. The Queen of England is. All right? If you make a corgi the King of England, that would be the greatest thing to ever happen. Right. But let's finish this now.
Justin Trudeau's not even the head of his own household. You know that his wife's boyfriend wears the pants in that relationship.
You don't you know it.
With a string of photos that it says are...
Well, that's a fun one. You got this one photo of this lady practically licking his face. Yeah, no public displays of affection there. And he's
hasn't done that.
Shit-eating grin on his face. Oh, you gotta love that.
Oh, looks like somebody's getting the old knobby slobby tonight.
I love it. They come back to the interview and his face is priceless.
Oh,
he just looks so embarrassed and uncomfortable.
Oh, bollocks. Oh, bollocks.
If we
you caught me in a bit of a tiff, Gov.
Oh, my goodness.
Staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was...
Let me put together my thoughts and tell you why I was staying at a sex offender's house. Okay, go.
Well, you see, the sex offense was fresh, so he hadn't had a chance to appeal.
In case you guys didn't hear that, he was asked because after Epstein was released from prison the first time, the time he didn't commit suicide. He went home, and then Prince Andrew visited him at his New York home that same year, right? And according to Prince Andrew, he went there to tell him that because of his conviction, they can't be seen together and they can't be friends. He went to New York to tell him that. It just reminds me of a scene in The Dark Knight where the guy's like, a simple phone call would have sufficed in this case. Like, not even you. Get one of your underlings to call him and say, yeah, we can't be friends anymore. You raped children, so that's kind of not cool with me.
Right, it's like, pick up the telly, ring Jeffy, tell him it's not you, it's me. But no, really, Jeff, it's you. You fuck children, bye.
I mean, why would you even need to tell him at all? Just don't talk to him anymore. Just go about your life as if he doesn't exist. Pretend he committed suicide and just go on with your life. Why would you need to fly to New York? Fly all the way from London. You crossed the fucking ocean, dude. Why would you have to fly to New York to tell him you can't be friends anymore? Like you owe him something.
And stayed in his house for 4 days. It's like, this is a really, really long goodbye in close proximity.
And he said it's just, it was a very convenient place for me to stay. Like you're some homeless dude crashing on his couch. You're a fucking royal, dude. You probably have a permanent residence in New York. And if you don't, you can get the swankiest hotel you want. Why are you choosing to stay at a pedophile's house for 4 days?
You can get the VIP suite at the Trump Tower. Ba-da-ba.
I mean, Jeff Epstein might have been at the Trump Tower at the time, so that might not have been the best optics either. But I mean, seriously, it's if And the fact that he thinks that any explanation of that at all will suffice is hilarious to me. You can see the visible discomfort on his face. It's like, oh, they didn't tell me I would have to answer this question. Mommy told me they wouldn't ask any tough questions.
I know. He's like he's trying to hold in a very uncomfortable poop.
Like, in the days of the Empire, I wouldn't have to subject myself to such outrages and just challenge the reporter to a duel. That's what they would have done in the old days. When in the modern days, he's got to answer these questions. And he's to tell this woman, to tell the whole world that he stayed at Epstein's house because it was convenient is fucking hilarious. It's like, it's convenient. Really? You stayed at a pedophile's house because it was convenient. Like, if I'm staying at someone's house and then they just casually drop, oh yeah, I'm a pedophile, I'm gone. I don't know. I'm leaving. I'll sleep out in the snow. I'm not staying.
Yeah,
I'm not staying for 4 days.
I know. The thing was that, Epstein didn't drop that knowledge on him while, when he was already there. He had prior knowledge to flying across the fucking Atlantic Ocean that Jeffrey Epstein had been a convicted sex offender. And it's like, even if my best friend that I grew up with, if they got convicted of sex offense and I was going to visit the town that they were in, the thought, hey, maybe I'll go crash on Kid Fucker's couch would never cross my mind. No matter how broke I was, I would sleep at a subway terminal before I would crash on some pedo's couch.
Yeah, well, because you're a normal fucking human being. You weren't raised as royalty where you don't have to suffer the consequences of your actions.
Right.
It's crazy. He was asked during he was going under the interviews like, do I regret the fact that Epstein conducted himself in a manner that was unbecoming? And the interviewer was like, unbecoming? He's a pedophile. I was like, well, yeah, I was trying to be polite. Like,
no.
Why though?
No.
Why are you trying to be polite?
Dead pedophiles don't deserve politeness.
Like he conducted. Do I regret that he conducted himself in a manner unbecoming of a gentleman by getting caught? Yes, I regret that.
I regret that he dragged me into this unpleasantness.
I would rather this whole situation just be dropped. Will you drop this, please? Apparently not. Let's watch a little bit more.
Monday, a new alleged victim who says she was sexually abused by Epstein when she was 15 years old said it was impossible for those around him not to know what was going on.
It is upsetting to me to think that anyone who was closely associated with Jeffrey Epstein might argue that they didn't suspect that he might have been sexually abusing children.
No, I'm just too. You can't expect me to notice things like kids being trafficked out right in front of me. How can I be expected to notice such a thing?
The woman calling on
I say, Jeffrey, every time I come to visit you, there's always a bevy of beautiful young women running around your apartment. Are these all nieces of yours?
Yes, Andrew, yes. They're all nieces. Just go with it.
I have a large family.
Prince Andrew to give a statement to the FBI under oath. The prince has already faced consequences for his relationship with Epstein.
Quick question. Are there any photos of Prince Andrew where he doesn't look guilty? Like every single shot of him in this interview, he looks guilty.
Press X to doubt.
Epstein, with corporate sponsors reportedly reconsidering their relationship with the prince's work to support entrepreneurs.
He has corporate sponsors?
He's royalty!
I guess, but for some reason, the idea of a corporate sponsor for a prince seems a little funny to me. It's like if a Disney princess has like ExxonMobil written across her dress. I mean, I'm okay. Okay, I guess so. I guess they can have corporate sponsors. It's just weird to me. Like corporate sponsors for a prince. That's how odd. You'd think he's rich enough without having to resort to corporate sponsors.
Students at a British university where Prince Andrew serves as chancellor also reportedly pushing for him to step down. Yet the prince is stopping short of saying he regrets knowing Epstein.
Oh, this is
Do you
good.
regret the whole friendship with Epstein?
Do you regret being friends with the pedophile? Oh God, please don't make me say that I regret it.
Well, if I say yes, I regret it, that makes me a liar. And a liar is a terribly impolite and improper thing for a gentleman of my stature to be. Fuck out of here, you weirdo.
Yeah. I love this answer, though. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Still not. And the reason being is that the people that I met.
The people that you met at a pedophile's house.
You are royalty! You knob! You absolute fucking knob! You don't need to pal around with kid fuckers to make connections!
Well, no, in his defense, maybe he does. Maybe all the connections he wants are kid fuckers. He has to play ball. I mean, come on. It's not that unbelievable, is it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't Boogaloo win?
Yeah, in my little private chat here, my buddy Kyle says, hopefully the corporate sponsor wasn't Trojan condoms.
No! Now that was dark. Holy shit. Oh, God. That was dark. Bad. Bad, friend of Hobbs. Keep them coming, though, because that was pretty funny. Okay, let's hear him out. Let's see what else Prince Andrew has to say.
And the opportunities that I was given.
The opportunities that he was given by a pedophile. God damn it, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
You are royalty! Moving on!
Oh my, I'm sorry. I can't play more than 2 seconds of this interview without having to stop and reiterate a point. But just look at his face. The dude is guilty. Okay, let's
learn.
What did you learn from a pedophile, Prince Andrew?
How to fuck
I would like
kids.
to know. Can you go into detail? Could you elaborate for us what you learned at Jeff Epstein's house?
I don't want to know those details. Because that will get you thrown in jail as an accessory to child porn.
The people I met, the connections I made, the things I learned, and all of that makes you not regret being friends with the dude. Dude, if I found out that like the godfather of my kids, somebody I knew for my whole life, best friend, was a pedophile, I wouldn't have any regret. I would fucking regret the shit out of even knowing the guy. But there's Prince Andrew going, I don't regret it because of the things I learned and the adventures we had. We went on some fantastic adventures together. I don't regret a single thing.
Let's move on. This is making me sick.
We got to hear a little bit more though.
Him or because of him were actually very useful.
The new Epstein accuser went on to say that coming forward would, quote, help survivors and that Prince Andrew could, quote, set an example. In the BBC interview, the prince said if push came...
Okay, I think that's enough. I think we've heard everything we need to hear from the mouth of Prince Andrew, the eighth in line to the throne of jolly old England. I bet everybody's very happy that he was not the firstborn of Queen Elizabeth, because holy shit, can you imagine? I mean, this fucking guy is just amazing. I saw a comment earlier today on one of these interviews that can you imagine how much these people got away with before the internet? Like, oh, I don't even want to think about that.
That's the kind of shit that keeps normal people awake at night.
Yeah, absolutely. Did I show the photo of Prince Andrew and his victim? Yep, there they are. There's the photo that is apparently faked. And I gotta find the quote. This Prince Andrew had this to say about that photo that we're showing you right now of him with one of the victims. All right, this is what he had to say. From the investigations we've done, you can't prove whether or not that photo is fake or not. Oh, that puts my mind at ease, doesn't it? I can't prove it's real. Therefore, there's plausible deniability, I guess.
That's like when a Christian and an atheist who don't really know what they're arguing about are arguing about the existence of God, and the atheist says, you can't prove that God exists, and the Christian says, well, you can't prove that God doesn't exist, and then they just kind of leave it at that. That's what that statement reminds me of. It's just like, I can't argue anything, so I'll just leave this open-ended non sequitur.
You can't prove that I'm a pedophile, so I'm not a pedophile. Case closed. This is from an article at CNN. It goes, Prince Andrew was simultaneously such a good friend that it was a matter of honor to visit Epstein in New York after his prison release in 2010 to break the friendship off in person. Quote, I admit fully that my judgment was probably colored by my tendency to be honorable, said the prince. His tendency to be honorable. No comment necessary on that. Let's just let that sink in. He's such an honorable guy. He would fly to New York, to the home of a pedophile, to break off his friendship and stay with him for 4 days, as anybody would do.
As you do.
Come on. Who wouldn't do that? It goes on. Even when invited to offer a closing statement, Andrew didn't. I love how they're referring to him as Andrew instead of Prince Andrew. A little dig at the man, I think, is well deserved.
At least it's not Andy. Andy.
I'm just picturing Andy from Toy Story right now. Andrew didn't offer an expression of sympathy to Epstein's victims. Throughout, he focused on small stuff. He didn't organize a birthday party for Maxwell at his royal residence, merely a straightforward shooting weekend. He didn't attend a party to celebrate Epstein's release, merely a small dinner party, only 8 to 10 of us. He didn't regret his friendship with Epstein because the man's extraordinary ability to bring people together gave him wonderful networking opportunities. I bet it did. Where else might a prince pick up networking opportunities? I love that line. What? You're royalty!
That should be the name of the show. Your royalty.
He also acknowledged that Epstein conducted himself in a manner unbecoming. Unbecoming, responded Emily I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry, everybody. BBC interviewer. He was a sex offender. Yeah, he said. I'm sorry. I'm being polite. Oh, Andrew. You need to have a sit down with your mom. She needs to set things straight with you because you are fucking up, dude.
If anybody out there has the contact information for Queen Elizabeth II, please pass it on to roadstoliberty@gmail.com.
Absolutely. No, it's Roads to Liberty podcast at gmail.com. Yeah, you got to get it right. I want to talk. I want the Queen right here talking to me, explaining her children. All right. Some people's kids. Am I right?
That person's kids.
Explain your kids, Queenie. All right.
God, I would love
your kids hang around with fucking pedophiles and thinking that's an honorable thing to do. It's weird. All right. It's weird.
Gross and weird. Gross and weird.
You know what else is weird? South Dakota. South Dakota's pretty weird.
Yes, our wonderful neighbor to the north.
You ever been to South Dakota, Hobbs?
I have, yes.
It's very flat for most of it, and then it turns very beautiful once you get to the end. Right. You know, when you get to the Black Hills, when it's almost Wyoming, that's when it's nice. Everything else is just flat and boring, which they tell me is what Nebraska's like. I wouldn't know because I've never been out of the metro area because corn scares me.
Damn you, Stephen King.
I know, right? I keep expecting kids with scythes to come out and turn me into a scarecrow, but that's neither here or there. What I want to talk about is South Dakota. and the fact that they're all on meth, apparently.
Apparently.
So I've got no details on this story. I just want to talk about how silly it is. Apparently, South Dakota has come up with a doozy of a slogan to talk about how they're going to be combating the meth addiction in South Dakota. And the slogan they came up with is meth, period. We're on it.
Right. How to combat drugs by making your entire state look like a bunch of tweakers.
Oh, dude, it's fucking hilarious. I just want to show you some of these, just how bad they are. So here's a picture of a young person of color, millennial, sitting in a coffee shop, gazing at the camera, going, meth, I'm on it. Clearly not, sir. You don't look like you're tweaking at all. You do not look like a man who is on methamphetamines. You have all your hair. You probably have all your teeth. You don't have splotches all over your skin.
Fingernails aren't bleeding.
Yeah, you're not bleeding all over the place. You, sir, are clearly not on meth. So, who else we got? Here's looks like a lady who might be on meth. We have a woman sitting out in the middle of nowhere, wrapped in a blanket, gazing at the camera. She looks like she might be on meth.
Possibly
I
homeless.
believe that. Possibly homeless, yeah. I can believe that. So we got one meth head staring at us. What else we got? Here's a good one. Now we got here. We have two. We got a farmer on the left in the middle of a field, and the caption "Meth, I'm on it." Okay.
Fun fact: he's actually 23, so that's believable.
And on the right side, this is my favorite one. On the right side, it's three high school football players. Meth, we're on it.
Also believable.
Oh my goodness! I had to poke a little bit of fun at North Dakota and Nebraska and my home state of Nebraska at the same time with this image. All right. It's an image of South Dakota on top of Nebraska, and it's meth. We're on it. And in Nebraska, it uses our tourism motto. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
Which is just as facepalm worthy as meth. We're on it, just in a completely different way.
See, I did not think that we would ever relinquish our title of worst motto ever. I honestly not like Nebraska's is honestly it's not for everyone, and Omaha is we do not coast. To just cringe with I don't know who the fuck came up with these, but they need to be exiled to Iowa immediately.
Iowa could just annex that whole little spot there.
Yeah, just their house. Whoever did that marketing, just annex their house. You are now an enclave of Iowa in the middle of Nebraska. If they live in an apartment building, let them annex that apartment specifically.
Yes.
Just that one.
Right.
Just exile them to Iowa and don't let them back. Because I thought we were good. I thought we were the undisputed world champions of terrible titles until fucking South Dakota did some meth and came up with the doozy of their own.
Yep.
Meth. We're on it. God damn it. We had it, dude. We had it. And South Dakota had to go and ruin it for everybody. They just took the title right from under our noses.
Hand that crown. Hand that crown. Right. So let's like get serious here for just a second on this one, if it's even possible. Like the whole point behind the campaign. I've seen a few people who are confused about it. Are they, some people thought that they're trying to humanize the methamphetamine epidemic that we have kind of here in the Midwest. Like, they're putting a human face on meth addiction. No, that's not what they're doing. The phrase meth, we're on it, or meth, I'm on it is not like I am taking crystal meth.
That's not what it's supposed to
That's not what it's supposed to mean. They're not trying to put a human face to it. The phrase meth, we're on it is meth, we're taking care of it, or we're going to handle it. That's what that's supposed to mean. And apparently the wonderful genius behind this is either the most self-unaware person in the world who failed grammar school, or they're just like a top-tier shitlord who just decided to troll their entire state by making them all look like tweakers. I mean, really, though, how many people are in South Dakota? Like 10? So it's a pretty close-knit community.
Like, seriously, I just gotta wonder how many people's approval they needed to get to make this thing a reality. There must not have been that many, because I refuse to believe.
At least 6 of the other 10.
See, I refuse to believe that more than 3 people looked at this and didn't see the glaring flaws staring them in the face. Like, maybe I don't know, man. How?
Here's this awesome new ad campaign I come with. Meth, we're on it. And then I see like 3 people at a board going, yeah, that's hot. Let's get that out right away.
Oh yeah. Yes, we're on it. Sounds perfect.
While they're like snorting fat lines of crystal meth off of the boardroom table or something, like, yeah, sounds good, man. Just get it to the presses right now.
Do you snort crystal meth?
I
thought you like smoked it out of a crack pipe. I mean, no, crack pipe implies crack. So I don't know, dude. I don't know how this shit works. Apparently, if I lived in South Dakota, I would, though.
Yes.
I would be on it already.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh my god. I don't really have anything more to say about that. It's just
so dumb.
It's weird, man. It's weird, South Dakota. Why? Why? No one was forcing you to go with this.
Was meth don't do it already trademarked?
Rob, maybe meth. We're eliminating it. I mean, it's not good.
No, it doesn't.
But it's not bad either. Meth, you're done. I don't know.
A little better, and it doesn't have the side effect of making your whole state look like tweakers.
Well, I mean, look like tweakers. Come on, it's South Dakota. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all tweakers, you know. It's like Council Bluffs is a South Dakota city that was just moved to be next to Omaha, so that we could just kick out all the undesirables from Omaha and send them to that side of the border. That's what Council Bluffs exists for. It's a penal colony of Omaha, is what it is.
It's the Australia of Nebraska.
Yeah, that's what Council Bluffs is. What we really need to do. I mean, Trump's keep talking about a wall around Mexico. No, build a wall between Omaha and Council Bluffs, so the tweakers can't sneak their way across. That's what we gotta do. Well, I'm done talking. We've talked enough about pedophile royalty and stupid South Dakota and prison guards not doing their jobs. We had another article we want to talk about the Ohio Supreme Court hearing a case concerning a man who was drinking in his own home and shot an intruder. And now they're trying to say, hey, if you drink alcohol, if you have alcohol in your house, you can't have a gun in there. So we want to talk about that, but there's no time. So I guess we'll just plug our stuff before we go. Remember, everybody, the website is roads2liberty.com, roads2liberty.com. We were on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Minds, YouTube, and anywhere podcasts are found. Got anything to say? Oh, 25th. That's next Monday, I believe. We are going to have the one and only Scott Horton right here on the show, Monday night at 9 p.m. Central. The great Scott Horton is going to be here to talk about his recent change of party affiliation to the Libertarian Party. We're very excited about that. So stay tuned. Do you have a guest coming up on Friday, Hobbs?
Tentatively right now, we're going to be doing the part 2 of the last week's with Malachias Gaskin. We kind of got off in the weeds and only got to about half of what I wanted to get. So we're going to be going over the homesteading and gardening and homeschooling and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll work out this weekend. If not, I'll wrangle up somebody.
Of course, we got Ben Backus doing his weekly educational show on Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time. So you got 3 shows coming up this week, and then you're going to have next week. You might have 4 shows because that's a lot of. We've been slacking a little bit on Token and Hobbs because I have an infant daughter, and things have been really hectic lately. So that's why there haven't been as many Token and Hobbs show. If you listened to last week, I explained that. But hopefully, we're going to try to get better on track here. Our Facebook page is growing rapidly. It's amazing. Thank you, everybody, for that. Oh, also our Facebook group, the Roadkill Cafe. Go like that too and join the conversation. And remember, you can be a part of this show every week. Watch us live Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. Get on our Facebook page and you can join the conversation. All right, you can write down comments and you can ask questions to us, and we'll read them on the air live during the show. So that's always fun to do. You can do that. You can do that Ben's show. You can do that at Hobbs' show, and you can do that next week when Scott Horton comes on. So if you have a question for Scott Horton, make sure to ask it.
Right, and if you get on our Facebook show on Tuesday nights live, and enough people do it, and enough people start asking questions, then we're going to have to go to some type of a super chat system where you'll have to give us money to have your question read. And that is where the excitement happens, my friends. Maybe not for you, but for us.
Yes. That's what we all have to look forward to. Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, stay sane, because the world will not do it for you. Good night, everybody.
Later.